Well, hello and welcome to Arts and Wellness Café. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, my name's Amanda and I'm really happy to have you. If you are a regular visitor, welcome, welcome. Now, I love to start and ask you first how you're doing and how you're feeling. And I want you to kind of just stop and I think this is a really good exercise to do. Um, this is a really good exercise to do at any time, at any point, to really just stop in that moment. Whatever you're doing, you've got 5 minutes. You've got 5 minutes to do this. Yeah, so it's just stop in that moment and just, if you're sitting down, feel the chair that you're sitting in. Are you leaning up against the back? I'm not, and I've got my jumper behind me. It's the same jumper I had last week that was behind me, that I'm sitting on, and I can feel a little lump at my back. And if I lean back, I'm made aware that my neck is not quite supported and there feels a slight strain. If I sit back like that, this is not a good position for me, and that's why I have this in the studio. So if I just need to shut my eyes for a moment, then that's an actually quite comfortable position. And but sometimes you could be doing, working on something that's got a lot of detail and your eyes get a bit of strain. So that's why I use that. And just if you're standing, think about the what you can feel, the how does your shoes fit, the pressure of the shoes on your feet. Um, how are you holding your body? Is it tense? Are you anxious about anything? And it's important for us to regularly recognize how we are feeling so that we can um, be more aware and be mindful of how we're treating ourselves, because sometimes we're just on automatic pilot and we do things not necessarily because that's what we want to do, but it's because you know I'm not even that's what expected that's what is expected of you, but it's just you've always done it, it's automatic, or you never think about yourself in the sense of how you're feeling, and whether whatever it is that you're doing is something that you want to do. You might not want to do it, you might just be doing it like as I said, on automatic, like if you comfort eat. So I'm a comfort eater, and the first step in recognizing that you're a comfort eater is actually admitting it. And so sometimes, like, there are certain things that I do which are routine that I've done, and I'm trying to break the habit. So if I go into a petrol station, I usually buy a bar of chocolate and a bottle of water. Now, um, I started doing this when I was caring for my mother, who's got dementia, and I would spend 3 to 4 nights by her. And this was when my son was young. He was like 3, 4 years old. No, actually, he was older because he was going to primary school, so he would have been 6 or 7 years old. And um, so I would be driving back and forth, and it was like, I mean, it doesn't seem a lot when I say it's like 10 miles, but actually driving it, it took like 30 to 40 minutes to get there. And then obviously I was, away from home, away from my routines, and I was caring for my mother who's living with dementia, and that, had a whole different range of issues. Issues in the sense of just dealing with all the emotions that come with living with somebody has who is living with dementia. And so on the way, if I had to get petrol, I would buy a chocolate bar because that would make me feel whatever it was in the chocolate, um, that gives you that good feeling. I would get that, and so that would be my habit and routine. So every time I stop for petrol now, it's not necessarily because I want the chocolate bar, because I'm dealing with an emotion that needs comforting, it's because it became a habit. And I found myself doing that recently. And it's just like that automatic, before I knew it, I'd paid for my stuff and I was walking out of the shop, petrol station, and I had this chocolate bar in my hand, and it was buy, it was buy two and you get, for a special price. And it was just like, um, I've got some chocolate I can have for later. But then I just thought to myself, gosh, you did that without even thinking about how you were feeling. When you picked up the chocolate bar, you were transported emotionally back to the times where you would drive, to your mum's and stay over and have to deal with all the, the things that as a carer you do. And I was just like, whoa, I did that without even thinking. And it's thinking about all those things that you do without thinking. So without further ado, which I should have done just a minute ago, is the word for today, or this week. So yesterday I shared on my podcast the word secure. So the word for the week is secure. And I'm just going to pick up on some of those things today in regards, even more so in regards to in a creative standpoint. Um, but so it's what are those things that you do automatically, and how can you make sure that you understand how you're feeling, you're understanding what's going on with your body or with your emotions, and you then do something about it, and you don't react to things out of habit, or because that's what you used to do. So I'm going back at least like 6 years. So it's been 6 years since I've physically had to care for mum. So that's why that little exercise in just kind of sensing where you are, what's happening, what's going on, how you're feeling. Can you feel the pressure? Is there any tension in your body? Is it because you're sitting in an awkward position, or you're sitting on something and you need to kind of fix, whatever it is, or you need to plant your feet on solid ground. You need to put, take your shoes off if you can, or lean back, or find a support for your neck, or unclench your hands or your jaw line, or are you frowning, so it's when you kind of recognize these things about yourself and you practice, because it is something that you have to practice, that you then you get a better sense of how you're feeling, and then you can, rather than respond to something as a reaction, knee-jerk reaction, because you think you're feeling tense, because you haven't yet, or you're feeling tense and you haven't recognized it, and then you go on to say something to somebody, where what you needed to do was just sit back for 5 minutes and just think, gosh, how am I feeling today? So that was one of the things that I wanted to touch on, and that I want you to touch on every single day, basically. And you might have to do it several times a day, because we go through different emotions. Like, again, I was caught out at the supermarket. So, and again, brought some chocolate. So what that tells me is that it's about my health and about what my body needs. So I, on various times, have been anemic, and so need to supplement or eat, iron-rich foods. And it's obvious that I haven't been doing it because I've had this craving for chocolate. And so I've got this candle that it smells so good, but it burnt, all of it burnt out, and what happened is it all burnt down to the middle, and there was a circle and there was no wick left. So what I've been doing is breaking off the candle, and when I put that in my oil burner, you get the scent of the candle, and it's really lovely. It's one of those really expensive candles that it's like, why was it burning like this, you know? But yeah, so that was, wanted to just really get you to think about those things and think about them often, because that's what I haven't been doing. So even with the word being secure, I was feeling insecure and then reached for my go-to thing, which is the chocolate, which is comforting. And rather than stop myself, because I had a glimpse of, why are you buying the chocolate? Well, why are you buying that as well? And it was just like all the things I had in my basket were comforting things. And again, it was because, actually, you need to eat more iron rich foods. I did have, I made some moringa bakes today, um, which was nice. And yeah, so secure. How are you feeling? How are you feeling in what you do? So yesterday, um, we had what's called Catapult Day, and it was Catapult is an initiative um, that brings the American Friends of Jamaica. Is it the American Friends of Jamaica, Fresh Milk, and gosh, what's the other one? I'll put all the links down below. But we had what was called a Catapult Day, and all the awardees. Catapult, the organisation, gave out all these awards so that artists around the Caribbean could, some of them were small monetary awards and bigger monetary awards. And I'll leave all the links below in this video so that you can go and see. And we had all the artists came together, and some of the artists gave a presentation as to what they did with their award. Now, the artists that gave the presentation weren't the artists who were. There was like a lockdown salon, so I think 40 artists got an award, and it was $5,000 award, and I think for that particular one, but they were doing different aspects of what their art or creativity means to them. A lot of them did initiatives where they connected with the community, and a lot of the people who won. So I won a oh my gosh, I won a online. It was online creative award and a showcase award, and in one of them I talked about my art in my studio, and then the other one I looked at um, how I do my stitch projects and kind of the process, and how I work with, it's like linking with the arts and health, and how that's important to me. And I think that so many people could be impacted in a beneficial way um, if they participated in some form of creative activity. And I also showed how I worked within a daycare centre, specialist daycare centre that specialises with people living with dementia, and how over a 3-year period saw the impact of a weekly arts program had on their health and well-being. It was like it was really fulfilling and really rewarding to kind of see the impact on the participants. So we had everybody came together, and there's some really, really interesting projects, and it was a great idea to have, I think they had 5 or 6 artists kind of talking about the impact that they've made and the work that they're doing in the community. And for some people, it was just like, if they hadn't had the award, they wouldn't have been able to do the work. And it was just like, it was really brilliant. So hoping to try and connect with a lot of the artists there, and we all left our details, so it's like going through all the details and connecting with the artists. So that's going to be really good. And it highlighted for me how sometimes you can feel um, you are isolated in a way, in the sense that we're all in our own spaces working, and it's really important to connect with other artists and have a network of artists that you can dip into, share ideas, talk about what you're doing, and maybe even collaborate. And so that was on Monday, the 14th, and so it's just like that, the aftermath. So I'm kind of just, it was a lot of was it a lot of pressure? It's I've got a lot of things on, so I'm having to really organize and um, come out of my comfort zone in terms of a lot of the things that I'm doing, and you're sharing more, and so you're becoming more visible, and sometimes that can feel a little bit, um, even I sometimes feel a little bit kind of, not over, the word is not overwhelmed, but it's, especially with the computer breaking down, it's just like, oh my gosh, because I had all my bookmarks and everything, and the every site that I went to, it was just like, it was all laid out on my computer, and I'm borrowing one at the moment, and it's, whilst, yeah, it's just really hard to, because there's things that are not on this. There's loads, all my files. Luckily, I had saved them on my external drive, and okay, yeah. So so there's so many things that I need to do that I have got to organise myself for, and then without my computer, it's just like, man, okay. And it's something that you don't realise that you rely on a lot, and it's just finding new ways of working. So without my computer, I'm having to rely more on my phone. Then you've got the screen size, and then you've got, okay, you can only have a certain amount of apps open, and all of this kind of nonsense. So it's just like, I'm trying to sort that out, but that's going to take time. Um, oh, what else? What else has been happening? You know that Lifebook has got the 7-day free replay of the taster sessions. I just thought I'd remind you about that. That's Lifebook. So it's not it's not restricted by like a particular date. So it's whenever you sign up, 7 days from that is when you get. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to sign up by tomorrow, because if you sign up tomorrow, then that's when you've got to start your 7 days. But it's definitely great that you can actually go to any of the classes that you missed, take go over some of the classes, and just see how you get on. The Creative Jumpstart is on the early bird special at $69. So you can, you know, as I said, I'll leave all the links below. So you can go to that and sign up. And the One Badass Art Journal class is on early bird special at um, $69 as well. And there may be, if there's anything else, I'll leave the details below. But there's lots of there's lots of things that you could potentially do. Now, I do know, obviously, if you financially find it difficult to, sign up for any of these courses, I've got, quite a few bits of information on my YouTube channel, and I also have on my Patreon, for $3 a month, you can have access to art videos there exclusively for patrons. So, make use of that if you want. It's free here on YouTube, so you can, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell and all of that. So you'll always have access to my videos, and also on my blog. So I post weekly on there as well. So, and I also share any kind of discounts or free gifts or things that I'm giving away. And I do have, oh gosh, yeah, I did didn't I? Sorry, I was like, I do have a free taster. It's digital download, and you can download that and access some really lovely background pages that I've created. So I'm really pleased about that. And again, with this word secure, it's when you start working and flowing in what it is that you're doing. You feel comfortable. You don't feel anxious about what you're doing, and it's important to grow. So it's important not to kind of just sit in that being comfortable, but sometimes you have to step out and you have to be uncomfortable to then move to the next level. And I think as well for me that may be what's happening as well. I'm kind of in the process of um, I'm growing. Um, I'm connecting with a lot more people. I'm doing more things. I'm doing more this year than I did last year. And then next year is going to be a busy one as well. And obviously, I want there to be growth um, for myself. I want there to be growth as well. So I have to, um, I have to really get organized, and and again, not be afraid to ask for help, because sometimes that's what you need to do. So I need to get myself organised, and you do too, and maybe you are organised. So if you've got any tips, please leave them in the please leave a comment basically. And for those of my podcast listeners, sorry I forgot to welcome you, but you are always welcome. And um, do you know what? I'm gonna have to cut it short. I'm just gonna have to cut it short because I'm having issues with my recording device, and as I say, editing is challenging, and I want to make sure that you um, get your Arts and Wellness Cafe in a timely fashion. But yeah, think about how you're feeling. Think about if you think about your creativity and you can't say yeah I feel secure in it, like there's loads of different techniques I try and work on, and loads of different materials I work with as a mixed media artist, and I feel comfortable with them all. There are things that I want to learn, but I don't feel insecure about it. I feel confident, and it is when do you stop feeling insecure and feeling secure, and it comes with practice and working at it. And you have to, as I say, you do have to step out and be uncomfortable, step out of your comfort zone, and sooner or later you become kind of, oh, actually it's not as bad as I thought, actually it's all right. um, so over to you. Let me know how you're getting on, and let me know what kind of things you're working on. For those of you who may be carers, I'm going to put the link of the and um, Arts and Health Network. Sign up, because I have resources over there that that you can use and look at, and I'm putting some things together as well. But I'll let you know nearer when they are ready. And yeah, with the network, if you are working in the arts and health as well, you can set up a profile and share your information to some of the other the other people on the network. And you can also, yes, it's totally online, but you can also share some of the images of um, where you've worked, if you've worked with groups of people. So it's not about you know um, I mean, you can share anything on your profile, but it's more about how, as artists, we're working in the arts and health, and how we're impacting on the wider community, and what we're doing with our work in the wider community. Or if you have any things coming up that encourages people to take part, so that's a good thing. But yeah, so if you want any of the tips and the reports that are there, that I've put on there, you're quite welcome. And I also have these recordings as well on the Arts and Wellness Cafe because obviously, there are different audiences, and some people just come to the online network. So I want you to take care for now, and I want you to again think about how it is you are feeling, how it is you're moving forward, what it is you hope to do for the rest of the week, and how you are going to um, not only be a blessing, you are going to be blessed, but how you're going to be a blessing. And I want you to step out of your comfort zone in some way in your art. So whether it is you try something new, a new technique, a new material, or you might um, start do something with your non-dominant hand, um, and see how you get on. That's kind of stretching the muscles, working the muscles of stepping out of your comfort zone, and let me know how you get on. Okay, so take care for now, and as I said, stay blessed and be a blessing, and take care.